Most of your takeoffs and landings will be made at airports with lengthy, hard-surfaced, smooth runways. However, you might at some time have to land and take off from short runways or rough or soft surfaces over obstacles, or you might experience any combination of these. The efficiency of your airplane depends on your ability to employ the techniques of maximum performance takeoffs and landings. Although we will discuss short and soft field takeoffs and landings separately, you will find that many times both conditions exist at the same location. When this happens, you might need to use the techniques for both. Let's begin by looking at short field procedures. Short field takeoffs begin with a check of the performance charts to see if your airplane is capable of a safe takeoff under existing conditions. This is extremely important as density altitude increases. Besides considering the runway length and takeoff roll, during training you normally assume that there is a 50-foot obstacle to be cleared after takeoff. This requires additional performance calculations to ensure clearance. The pre-takeoff checklist is basically the same as the one you use for a normal takeoff, except that you set the flaps as recommended by the airplane manufacturer to achieve a maximum performance climb. If runway length is critical, position your airplane so that you can use all of the available runway. Then, align the airplane with the center of the runway and initiate the takeoff by holding the brakes and applying full power. While this does not necessarily shorten the ground run, it does help you be sure that the engine is running smoothly. During the takeoff roll, allow the airplane to accelerate in a level attitude with the elevator in the neutral position for minimum drag. Shortly before reaching the best angle of climb airspeed, positively rotate the airplane. Maintain this attitude until the airplane has cleared all obstacles. If no obstacles are in the departure path, or after you have cleared the obstacles, adjust the airplane's pitch to the normal climb attitude and slowly retract the flaps. You must also apply special techniques when landing on a short field. The objective is to touch down near the approach end in a full stall attitude. For training, you should assume that the approach is over a 50-foot obstacle. Your preparation for the landing begins on the downwind leg of the traffic pattern, where you slow the airplane to pattern speed and extend the flaps to the first position. Apply the remaining flaps as you continue through the base leg and after the turn to final. Reduce the airspeed progressively to that recommended by the manufacturer for short field landings. Ideally, you should conduct the final approach at a constant glide angle, airspeed, and power setting. You may need to make minor adjustments to pitch and power to maintain a stabilized approach. If you maintain the proper approach configuration, the airplane will not float above the runway and you will touch down close to the stall speed. To produce the shortest ground roll after landing, you should make sure the throttle is closed. Apply back pressure to the control wheel. Retract the flaps and apply firm and even braking action. Typically, your initial soft field training will take place on a hard-surfaced runway. Regardless of the type of practice surface used, soft field techniques are a valuable part of your flight training. If possible, complete your pre-takeoff checklist on a firm surface in an area free from loose sand and gravel. This helps to prevent propeller and airframe damage caused by flying debris. Set the flaps for the maximum performance takeoff as recommended by the manufacturer. With the checklist completed, you're ready to taxi. If the taxi area is soft, hold back pressure on the control wheel to keep the nose wheel from sinking into the ground. You should also add a slight amount of power to help keep the airplane moving. Try to clear the approach area while taxiing in order to keep the airplane moving directly from taxi to the takeoff roll. As you increase power during the soft field takeoff, you'll have to apply right rudder pressure to overcome torque, P-factor, and spiraling slipstream. In order to prevent the nose wheel from sinking into the soft runway during the takeoff roll, you need to transfer the airplane's weight from the landing gear to the wings as quickly and smoothly as possible. This is accomplished by holding back pressure on the control wheel and accelerating the airplane in a nose-high attitude. As the weight on the nose wheel is reduced, nose wheel steering becomes less effective. However, you will still have directional control because of the slipstream flowing over the rudder. You can relax some of the control wheel back pressure as speed builds up and the elevator becomes more responsive. As you lift off the runway, lower the pitch attitude and accelerate in ground effect to the best angle of climb airspeed before initiating a climb out. When all obstacles have been cleared, accelerate to the best rate of climb airspeed. Slowly retract the flaps and continue your climb. As you enter the traffic pattern and complete the checklist, you need to concentrate on performing a stabilized approach with a smooth, soft touchdown. Using full flaps during a soft fill landing will help you touch down at a low airspeed. They should be applied smoothly during the downwind, base, and final legs of the approach. Your objective for a soft fill landing is to transfer the airplane's weight from the wings to the landing gear as smoothly and gently as possible. The final approach airspeed that you use at a soft field is normally the same as that used for short field landings. The descent angle will depend on whether or not any obstructions are located in your approach path. The flare and touchdown require precise pitch and power control. If runway length is not a problem, you might want to carry a small amount of power during the flare out. Then, as you near the surface, smoothly raise the nose of the airplane to an attitude which resembles the climb attitude. In this way, the airplane will settle onto the ground as gently as possible. Maintain this power and elevator back pressure during the rollout to help keep the nose wheel off the ground as the airplane decelerates. Deceleration on a soft surface is generally quite rapid. Therefore, braking, other than that required for directional control, is usually not needed. Although you need special techniques when operating to and from short and soft fields, your ability to properly execute maximum performance takeoffs and landings will increase your flying enjoyment. The skills that you acquire will not only make you a safer pilot, but will enable you to use the many airports not serviced by long, hard-surfaced runways.